Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com, and today I wanted to look at California and the fires and the electric grid and just all the chaos and all the stuff going on there. I got quite a few questions that came to me, and I admit I kind of digested them, thought about them, and I decided to go ahead and pull one and do this post. I know it's a little controversial. I might have to choose my words wisely just for the sake of censorship, but I will go ahead and start. So the question, what is the truth about why they're temporarily shutting down electric service for all those people in California? They say it's because of the meter's hazard, but that story sounded sketchy to me. So that was one of the questions, and I think that goes along with a lot of what people are thinking in their gut and they're wondering about. I put a link to an article talking about the fires a little bit within my blog post if you'd like to go to my blog and view it. So putting that question out there and thinking about it, and I've even had a few conversations with people that have poked at my intuition to see what I could get, and when I put all my thoughts together, I really got so many different things that were going on with these fires. There's a lot of different angles, a lot of different sides to it. It felt purposeful. It felt like it was to manipulate power upgrades, and it also looks like part of it was to just see how people would react and test how people respond to this type of disaster situation. When I looked at it and I saw the intentional start of it, I got this vibe of it being very meticulously planned out. And the timing was critical. It had to do with the weather, what's going on. Is it dry? Is it windy? You know, what's happening? What is the air content and quality like all these different types of things. Then I saw where it looked as though there was this, for lack of a better way to describe it, looked like a beam that actually came up from the Pacific Ocean, and it was rooted from a ship. And the interesting thing was that this beam, as it goes upward, and then it had this trajectory to it. And when I saw this trajectory, it made me think of when I was back in college studying calculus and drawing these diagrams and just trying to figure out, you know, angles and all these velocities, that kind of stuff. But it triggered that within me, and it looked just so calculated and so specific in, you know, where does the beam start, how high does it have to go, what is the angle, what is all the different stuff to it. And I realized also when I looked at it, someone had mentioned, you know, if you look at it with infrared goggles, what would it look like? Because you couldn't see it with the naked eye. And I know when you look in those goggles, most times things have this greenish hue. This had this purplish glow to it, and I thought, wow, that's really weird. So it's almost like no beam or no type of ray that we've looked at before. It could have been symbolic, and that's why it was shown to me that way. But this is something different or unique, or some kind of a different type of a weapon. I further got that these areas were targeted in hopes to get government money to rebuild and recover. It's almost like developers see the potential there. They see the value in these lands, and they think, you know, you burn it to the ground, you'll have an opportunity. The government will come in. It's disastrous, and either maybe you're getting a cheaper loan or you're getting whatever, but some kind of assistance is going to come in. Then swoops in a developer, you build some cluster housing, you get revenue from taxes, and it just goes downward from there. So part of it looks to be replanted, but part of it looks to be converted into housing for the purpose of financial gain. And then on top of all of this, then you have this power company. You have this angle of it coming in, and it looks like they've needed upgrades, they've needed to make improvements for a really long time. So you get this disaster going on, then you have an electric company with some known issues that they have not addressed, so they shut down the power so they don't create a worse situation than what's already there. But in doing so and acknowledging that upgrades need to happen and people are going without power, they can justify higher rates. They can justify maybe some kind of government assistance with that. So basically, they get an upgrade out of this, and they find a way to fund this upgrade. When you don't have power for a few weeks, you're pretty desperate to get it back. So people are much more willing to put money in, whether it's some kind of surcharge, fee, tax, whatever you want to call it, the result is money going back to the company to get their upgrade. And then the last component of it was, like I said, to test how are people going to act? How are people prepared? How are they prepared? How do they behave? Do they go to the government readily for assistance? Do they, how desperate can they be, and how do they act? How ready for these kinds of disasters are they? So I saw it like some kind of a strange either drill or an exercise or social test to see what would happen. That was really all that I got. I'm sure there's a lot of comments and a lot of thoughts out there, so feel free to share. Share my page, like me, share my posts. All those great things help me out so much. And again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Take care. Bye.